Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about my life inside IIM way back in 1979-81. So, as you know, I did my MBA, that time called PGDM in Marketing and Finance from IIM Bangalore in 1981. So, what was life then, and how did I manage my life? How did I live my life in those 2 years is what I'm going to talk to you in this video. So if I were to start by summarizing what was the life in those 2 years, I would say it was the most memorable time of life. The most. No questions asked. Not that it was also good, etc. But it was the most memorable time of the life. And I can tell you, it is going to be for each one of you who join any of the IIMs. Because IIMs are like that. Now, why was it most memorable time of the life? Because there were three things that happened. We had great fun. And I'm going to talk to you about that great fun that we had. We built a bond, a community, a set of gang, and we had lots of fun. Then, of course, we learned a lot. I learned a lot, especially in marketing, from great professors like P.N. Thurunarayan. Learned a lot about finance, for that matter, from the faculty there, and many other things, but definitely marketing and finance I learned a lot. And the last thing was I started my career there way back. What I am now is all credit goes to my getting becoming a management trainee with Hindustan Unilever there as a part of the campus interviews, right? So doesn't that qualify to be the most memorable time of the life? Absolutely. So at that point of time when we went there in 1979, I think the institute was about 7-8 years old and there was no permanent campus. The classes were held in Bangalore on Double Road, if those of you are familiar with Bangalore. So there were one of the colleges, I don't remember which college, but one of the college's buildings in Double Road, we used to hold our classes. And the students of first and second year was in 4 different campuses, A, B, C and D. We were the D campus, right? And the senior students were placed in A campus. The C also had C hostel, also had first year students, and the girls were in the B hostels, in the B hostel. And the B hostel was very close to the C hostel and A hostel, while D was quite far away. So we were in the hostel D the first year, and this hostel was located in Frasertown. And the fun started right from there because it was like living in a villa hotel, right? It was our hostel was like a villa, a large villa constructed entirely on the ground floor. With a central hall and many rooms on the side, and a kitchen at the back separately where the mess guys used to cook the food, and a large playground in the front where you could go and play, and that's what we did. So life kind of started very luxuriously, as you could say that. So our life started there. Typically on a day, it would start 8 or 9 o'clock. A bus will come from the institute and pick all of us, and we will go to the Double Road campus, Double Road part of the campus, and we studied the classes, did everything there, had lunch there. Lunch was mostly in the campus, and it was some manageable lunch like it happens there. And we came back in the evening, normally about 5 and 6. I mean, there was no long classes till like 8 o'clock these days. I have students, I'm surprised. The classes are held till 8 o'clock. I really don't understand what is it that they keep doing. Why is it the classes has to be that late? Especially when your minds gets tired, you start at 8 and finish at 8. How are you going to absorb anything that the faculty is telling you? So our classes used to finish by 5 or 6 o'clock and we used to be back there. And evening time was the footer time. We had this excellent ground in front of within our campus, within a compound of the hostel D, and we used to play footer there. So that's a typical day's life that went, and that definitely was enjoyable, right? So we kind of had a good time there. Now, all the things continued like this till certain very eventful things happened. One of the most eventful thing was my getting a D in accounting and finance. I worked for a in between, and I'd come to basically to study and get a better job, like all of you would be doing. And I started studying well. All the other first term courses I was doing pretty well, but in finance and accounting I got a D. That was a shock. And the reason for the D was I had started chasing a girl. A girl had boarded from Delhi in the same train, and I kind of liked her. She was very smart and like a tourist looking, a foreigner kind of a look. And I started chasing her, and we went on to movies, and obviously the studies took backseat. And the D in finance brought me back to my senses. The question I remember, I asked myself, what am I here for? And that's the question you need to ask. At times you get lost in the campus. And the answer was, am I here to chase girls, or am I here to get my grades and get a good job? Obvious answer was obviously. So I stopped chasing the girl completely, and the girls were nowhere in the picture for the rest of the life in the campus. So the things would have been same, and of course there were a lot more fun on every Sunday. There were we used to have beer. There's a large good compound, and there were trees, so we would pull out chairs, sit in the sun or in a shade as the weather would be, have beers and chat on Saturdays, Sundays. There were parties on occasions, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night, and next day going to college. So the regular stuff that you guys do today also continues. The interesting part of the learning was the faculty. We had very good faculty, and especially in marketing, and they gave us a lot of assignments. They said, go and do the work in the field. That's where only way to learn. And we did that, and that brought us a lot of learning. Second year, we moved to the Hostel A, which was in Jayanagar, right? It was a bigger place, obviously, and because of the seniors, the Hostel B was next, so that was very good for many of us. But I had given up chasing. So this girl I used to chase once in a while, come and used to meet me and take advice on study, but it was all academic. There was also all professional, so as to say. There was nothing personal in that case. And there again our trip continued. We had formed a very close gang of people which were living together. We used to have beers on Saturdays and Sundays whenever time permitted. I still remember the beer used to come at ₹5.75 Kingfisher, and the beer used to get finished, and we used to return the bottles and get 50 paisa back on the next bottle. And the food used to come. I was always a mess secretary in the D Hostel D as well as here, and I used to have my privileges because of that. So same thing continued, right? So the life continued. 2 years flew past us, and the time for campus placements came. And it was like we didn't even know when the campus placements had come, and there were no major competition there in the campus. And I remember I got 3 companies interviews to appear, and this was Asian Paints, Crompton Greaves, and Hindustan Unilever. Crompton Greaves and Asian Paints weren't very tough processes. Unilever was very tough process. They had a very detailed and competitive process. The first part of the process was a group discussion, and then they had interviews, and they just shortlisted. And while the Asian Paints and the Crompton Greaves offered the job based on the campus, Unilever called us to their headquarters for the final interview, and that was a rigorous interview with the sales director, PM Sinha, who was the sales director, later on became the managing director of Bata, and recently passed away. So and we had finally many rounds of interview, one with the sales director, then by the chairman, and that took us the whole day, and we were cooped up in a conference room, supplied with good food, etc. And finally we made it, but it was a very competitive place. I remember I almost kind of walked on the toes of other people to get through there, which I normally don't do. So that's how we got into, that's why the placements happened. So it was the grand finale of the placement. That was the grand finale of the campus life. And I'm very happy that if I were to go back and someone asked me, how would you live your life back? I would say I would precisely live the same way. I would go back to IIM Udaipur, which probably they would not take me given my possible CAT scores now. But do marketing and finance, live life king size with fun and learnings and placements, and laid the foundation of the 40 careers that I've made, and have a great satisfaction of living life like this.